Shannon, how are you? I've gained 40 pounds. Look at what Vicky did to me. Hey Shannon, do you want anything to eat? I've gained 40 pounds. Look what Vicky did to me. Hey Shannon, how's the weather? I've gained 40 pounds. Look what Vicky did to me. So Meghan, Shannon, and Tamara meet up and they are all catching up or whatever. And as soon as Shannon sits down, she tells Meghan, who she hasn't seen in a very long time, who just had a baby, doesn't mention anything about the kid. The first thing she does when she sits down, well, I've gained 40 pounds because, you know, Vicky, a blah, 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 blah. And can I say that Meghan is annoying at times, okay? Most of the time. Ask Jim. But anyway, she could be a lot, right? However, she is the only one in this situation at that table telling the truth, because she says in her confessional, I don't think that Vicky did all that to Shannon and made her gain 40 pounds. I really think that those 40 pounds came from her marriage, her cheating husband. Like, tell it like it is, Meghan. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil, because Shannon continues to blame Vicky. Every episode she's in, every scene that she's in, she continues to blame Vicky for this weight gain. And I'm like, at some point you have to take responsibility. Vicky did not get you to where you're at. Gaining like up to 50 pounds in like 4 months is a real issue, and that is a lot of stress, a lot of depression, a lot of things are going on, and the only one who can get you to that point is your husband. Dead David is the only reason why you got them 40 pounds. It has nothing to do with Vicky. Lydia and her husband are exhausted from working on their blog of privilege, so they decide to take a trip to Hawaii. What fun. Oh gosh, I told y'all, if they do this Christian couple thing on this show, I'm going to check out of Lydia's storyline, because here she goes. She's starting with it already. Her son mentioned a sexy lady to his little brother. I guarantee you that little boy didn't know what he was talking about or what he said. Lydia and her husband decide to have the sex talk with her son. And I'm just like, this little boy doesn't know what you guys are talking about. He just wants to go play on the beach with his little brother. Telling him about how they were virgins and, you know, a husband and wife, they disappear and do things. The sex talk that they gave their son was so confusing. I mean, I was confused. I'm a grown adult and I was confused by this sex talk. I don't even know if they really told him how everything works or what really happens. They gave their son a very evangelical explanation of sex, and I feel like that's very dangerous, because you're not telling this kid the truth, and you're also putting unnecessary and, for a lot of people, unbelievable circumstances on sex. And it was just very, very awkward and confusing, and honestly, I don't think they should have put that on TV. It wasn't necessary, and it made her storyline that much more insufferable. She needs to come with something else. She really does. Last time she was on the show, she did that I'm this Christian cookie cutter person, and it did not work. To do the Christian cookie cutter thing, you gotta be wacky. Like, I forget what her name was, but Tamara called her Jesus Barbie. She showed up with her kooky Jesus love. It wasn't prideful, it was just kooky, and it was entertaining. Turn it around, Lydia, sweetie, because I'm already bored. I'm already bored. And I was starting to get entertained by you. So Shannon calls Peggy to apologize about, you know, throwing plates at the quiet woman. While she's on the phone with her, Peggy decides that she wants to invite her to a Lamborghini event that she's having. Then Shannon starts making it about her. She says to Peggy, oh, well, I would come, but you're inviting Vicky. And, you know, Vicky made up this rumor that my husband beats me. And Peggy's like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to hear. She's like, no, let me finish. I want to say this. And Peggy is so uncomfortable because she doesn't know their history. She doesn't know anything about these two. And I feel like Shannon, every time she gets a chance, she says these negative things about Vicky because she wants to take away any ally that Vicky has on this show. And she basically, it's vengeance, you know what I mean? Like, Shannon is taking out her anger on Vicky when she should be taking it out towards her husband. But like I said before, she does not want to risk losing him, so she'll take it out on Vicky and the other cast members, because the one who really puts her in this sort of rage, she loves and she doesn't want to lose. Then we get to Kelly and her mom, and this scene was actually really sad, and we had some lighthearted moments. But I feel for Kelly, you know what I mean? Because she said that her mom used to be very vibrant, and then I think her father passed in 2002, and she just feels like her mother is like deteriorating, you know what I mean? Like, her mother is not really living. She just lies around the house all day. She sleeps. She wants her mom to get involved to really live a long life, because she says that they have longevity in her family. Her grandmother passed at 92. She wants that to be the same reality for her mom, but she's getting a sense that her mom is just ready to go. And honestly, that happens to a lot of older people when they lose a partner for some reason, or the marriage is separated, or for whatever reason in their old age, when something that has been so constant and consistent in their life is broken apart, they start to, like, either when a partner dies, they start to prepare themselves to die or get ready to go. Like they feel like they don't have this partner, so they don't have a reason to live anymore. And Kelly really wants her mom to just still enjoy life, because Kelly is still fairly young and she has a very young daughter. So she wants her mom to be around for all of that. And she kind of feels like her mom is just like wasting away. And I totally understand that. And I think that explains what's going on with Kelly. She's a fire starter, you know what I mean? Like, she is a pistol. She's good TV, but there's obviously something going on there. And just to look into things that are going on with her mom and the things that are going on with her husband, they mirror each other. And it's a lot to put on somebody, especially when you're a wife and a mom, and then you're on this reality TV show. She has a lot. Kelly has a lot going on. And once we get underneath her brash behavior, I think we'll really find the core of what is breaking this woman down, because that's what it is. She lashes out because she doesn't want to deal with what's really going on with her. Shady Bravo editors, I swear, anytime they can sneak that clip of Vicky falling from season 1, they will put it in. They have shown that clip of her falling so many times. I know it word for word. I know it clip for clip. And that is because the editors at Bravo are so shady. And don't you ever change. So Kelly calls Tamra up to patch things up, and as soon as that conversation is done, they agree to meet, but as soon as they're done with that conversation, messy Tamra calls Shannon to talk about the call that she just had with Kelly. And you know that Shannon feels a certain way because she doesn't want to lose any of her allies. She wants to take away everybody else's allies, but she doesn't want to lose her own. So she brings up that one comment, that poor comment that Kelly made about her daughter way back in Ireland last season, and she tries to bring that up. I feel like she did that to try to maybe like stick a wedge between Tamra and Kelly, who she fears are probably going to make amends. Because to be quite honest with you, if Vicky wasn't in the picture, Kelly and Tamra would be a dangerous duo. Dangerous. Messy and messy, ratings gold. Real talk, honesty hour here. Who is buying Meghan and Jim's candles? Who? Like, what elderly person is buying up all their candles off of HSN or Craigslist? Who is doing it? This is my issue with Meghan. She, in every season, in every confessional she can, always comes at her husband for not being around. And now she's mad that he's not around for the child. I agree with that, right? I agree that she needs to feel frustrated that her husband is not in the picture with their newborn daughter. However, Meghan, before the baby, he wasn't around. Why did you think that this child would keep him here? And that's what a lot of women do sometimes. They are in a relationship that is crumbling. Not saying that Meghan's relationship is crumbling, but they're in a relationship that is not, like, that is going nowhere. So they think that if they had this child, it'll bring the man closer. A kid has never brought a man closer, ever. Every woman that has had to have a child to bring a man closer, or to seal some type of fate or some type of deal with him, or to like make some kind of family with him, it never works. It never works. If he didn't want you before the child, he won't want you after it. He definitely won't want to be bothered with you after that kid is crying and all this stuff. So it's just, I didn't understand that. I'm just like, you knew that he wasn't there. You complained about him not being home last season. So what makes you think that because this newborn daughter is here, all of a sudden Jimmy will cancel all of the things that he was doing and just be home? He gotta make this money. Tamra and Kelly finally sit down and meet. And right off the bat, Tamra mentions that Kelly was being very nasty to her on social media. I agree, right? Tamra's nasty too. This is the thing. They all say nasty things to each other on social media like they are teenagers. It's to the point where it's so unnerving to watch women in their 50s go back and forth with each other on Twitter, saying they go really low on Twitter. I had to unfollow almost all of those housewives when the shows come on, because they get very vicious and nasty to the point where I'm just like, who is this in my news feed? And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's housewives fighting 50s and 60s, and they're calling out people's kids and divorces and vaginas. They are really low on Twitter. Peggy's daughter, Giovanna, sweetie, I need that dress. That black and white dress was everything. You better slay, young queen. Slay. I feel like balls is a cuss word that Lydia's husband has like an evangelical cuss word that her husband has allowed her to finally say. Ever since she mentioned it the first time, Lydia has been saying balls this entire episode. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she probably just got a pass on a Christian cuss word. So now, you know, it's like a kid when they first start cursing or when they first are able to do like something adult, they just go balls to the wall. Literally. And I feel like that's what's happening with Lydia, because she keeps on dropping balls and she keeps on saying it to a point where she feels like she'll shock people. And like all the adults are in the room, or even the adults that she says it to are just like, okay, I'm gonna get a drink, weirdo. For the life of me, I cannot understand why Meghan would invite these bitter banshees to a sip and see for her child. And she thinks that because her baby is going to be there, that they are not going to argue and fight. She don't know these ladies. That's what they do. They will argue and fight and kick over a casket at a funeral. These ladies are messy. We're at Peggy's Lamborghini reveal, and Meghan already kind of feels some kind of way because in her confessional, she made this comment about Peggy being super rich. So I already feel like she has an issue that she kind of flaunts her money, right? It's yours. You can do it. Like, I don't hate on that at all, but Meghan has an issue with that, and I probably think that issue probably comes from the fact that her husband is never home because he has to work a lot of hours and spend a lot of time away from the house to afford the lifestyle that he has given her. And Peggy's husband is, you know, already, he just has so much money he can be with her. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's probably what's going on there, but I could be wrong. Anyway, she's at Peggy's Lamborghini reveal, and all the ladies are getting together, and Vicky is there, and Peggy is there. And is there another housewife? I don't know who the other one is. I feel like we're missing one. No, Kelly couldn't make it. So it's Peggy, Meghan, and Vicky. And they're all just talking and having a really good time. And then Meghan starts to bring up how, well, I think Vicky said something about the ladies. And she's not trying to talk about it because Peggy doesn't know. And that's really good of Vicky. She doesn't want to take Peggy with those issues. So she's not trying to talk about it. Oh, yes, because they mentioned Ireland. Meghan mentioned Ireland. And I think she mentioned that so that she could have some camera time, because there was no reason for her to mention it. Like, it just didn't make any sense. She just went, oh, in Ireland, I found out my ancestry, and this was my cousin. And it was just out of nowhere. And I felt like she did that because she wanted to bring up Ireland to probably start a little something. So then Peggy's like, oh, you guys went to Ireland. And then Vicky comments on it. And then she's just like, well, I don't want to talk about it because it didn't really go well. And then Meghan keeps on trying to bring it up. And it's very, very uncomfortable. And it's very rude to do at somebody's event. Peggy gets annoyed and she clips her lip. Let me tell y'all something. I am Team Peggy. However, Meghan is better than me, baby, because she sat there chill, like shocked when Peggy clipped her lips and didn't do anything. Would have bopped Peggy so hard in her head, she would have slid down to that Lamborghini that she revealed, because what you won't do is put your nasty, trifling hands on my lips in order to shut me up. But Meghan took it like a champ. It wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. I'm telling you guys, Peggy is doing everything she can to seal her fate for next season, going to make sure that she is holding an orange right next to Vicky, because she is doing everything in her power to fight for her, to befriend her, to really make this relationship work. And with Peggy being as boring as she is, no tea, no shade, I think is a smart move. Smart move, Peggy. Bravo, sis. Bravo. And before we wrap this up, let's talk about how messy this show is off camera, because on Twitter and in the interwebs, these ladies are going at it. Let's start off with Tamra. Her daughter wrote an entire essay on Facebook about how Tamra isn't a good mom. She doesn't like how she is portraying her father. I told y'all when she did that whole missing kids or missing families foundation segment on last week's episode, I knew that that was going to bring something up, because her daughter was just like, she is not showing you guys the truth. I chose to live with my father because my mom is all about reality TV fame. She's become like this starlet, and she has ceased being my mother. She uses me and my siblings for storyline. And she said that I had told my mom repeatedly to stop using me for a storyline. I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be internet famous or like reality TV show famous. She doesn't want any of it. She does not want any of it. And she was just basically saying that Tamra does not respect her wishes. And then Tamra hopped into the comment section and was cussing out everybody that agreed with her daughter and only saying, you know, good things to the people that was agreeing with her. And then she paid for her expensive college that she didn't want her to attend the graduation to. Like, she was just being very petty. The daughter was being petty. They were just going back and forth, and it was very, very, very unfortunate. But I knew that episode with the holy race and family stuff was going to bring up something. Then we have to go over to Peggy, who's in an entire Twitter feud with Heather. Heather, who's no longer on the show. She is this LGBT activist. Who knew? Opportunist, LGBT opportunist. Let me stop. That's not nice. Anyway, she has an issue with Peggy because Peggy did not allow her brother to come to their father's funeral because of his homosexuality, and I believe in their religion, or maybe I'm not even gonna put it on a religion. It was gossiped about and said that she didn't want them to come, and then Heather jumped in on it. And I honestly feel like, that's why I said opportunist. I honestly feel like Heather jumped in on that to keep her name out there circulating, because I feel like she may want to come back to the show, and I felt like she did that just to keep her name relevant, because it wasn't confirmed, you know what I mean? It was just a rumor, and for her to jump on that and to make a statement and then pull the LGBT community in it and, you know, say that she's an activist, and it was just unnecessary. And I felt like it was strategic because she wants to come back to the show, and I guarantee you we'll see Heather next season, and she'll probably get a big pay raise because of it. So I'm not surprised at all what's going on, but a lot of stuff is going on with these housewives off camera, and as soon as I get the information, I will be quick to report it to you all, because we have to talk about Countess Luann. Check back Wednesday for all that tea. Anyway, that's where this episode ends. If you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you for the following episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye, guys.